Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to our 100% run here in Might and Magic 8. And this episode's gonna be a fun one. We've got a few different things to do. I think the first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go back to Alvar because I believe Murmur Woods should have reset by now. And oh, excuse me. Lightly tapped the microphone there with my pen. I'm actually going to get my notebook ready because since Murmur Woods has reset, I believe it's got a contest inside. And I would like very much to get another one of those out of the way. And not so much, for the goal of just getting the contests done, although that does help, but mainly for the skill points that it gives us, because as you can see, it's getting very, very expensive to level up light magic, and we need all the help we can get. So Murmur Woods, ideally, is going to give us a new contest. And what I'm going to do is, without even bothering to cast invisibility or anything like that, we're just going to fly up and we're going to see what this contest is. And if it is one that we need, which is either intellect, personality, or endurance, then we will, and it's not. So, to confirm that it's not, well, I've already lost it. Maybe I need to fly up a bit higher. Oh, it's right there, okay. Yeah, we've already won this one. I'm not going to show this for all of them. You'll just have to take my word for it, because I am keeping my own list of which contests we've won. The game doesn't do that for you. It keeps track of it in the background. It won't let you win the same contest twice. But if you want to keep track of it in a way that's easy and convenient, you've got to kind of do it manually. This is speed. Also not what we need. We have no need for speed. And we're going to keep doing this until we get, like, 3 out of 7 isn't terrible odds. It's a little bit less than 1 or 2, but eventually, like, a little bit less than 1/2. But surely, soon we'll get it. Here we go. Intellect is indeed one of the ones we need, so now I've got to make sure that we can get to it without too many things bothering us, because otherwise it gets really annoying. So really what we're gonna have to do is get here and cast invisibility. Okay, alright. Now we'll go back. I also don't want, any of the, like, basilisks to hit my party members. Turn them to stone, because we don't have a way of dealing... Or do we? Do we have... We do have stone to flesh. But, like, she might be the one who gets turned to stone, and then that would be a whole situation. You have failed the contest. Why is that? Oh, it's because we haven't cast Day of the Gods. I'm such an idiot. Alright. Let's just take another step back. Pardon me. One moment. Excuse me. Now, let's go back. Because it was just a contest, I could have probably beaten it through items. Because I think you only need a stat of 50. Or... yeah, I think you only need a stat of 50 to beat a contest. So, game, contest, test, challenge. Where the hell am I flying? Where have I gone? Where is this thing? Okay, this is a... Alright, here we go. 5 for you, 5 for you, 5 for you as well. And what were we leveling up? We were leveling up this for you. We were leveling up light magic for you, which is fantastic. Another point. It's getting so expensive to level this up, but I am intent, one way or another, by hook or by crook, come hell or high water, I am going to drag that skill to rank 30 before I do anything else. Let's quickly check. What does this well do? That's a bunch of garbage. Okay. Do we at least get a note for it? Murmurwoods. Well, near the Temple of the Sun in Murmurwoods is poison. Well, at least we got a journal entry out of that, so you know what, that's fine. I was waiting until we got out of the range of the monsters before casting Cure. Oh, okay, we don't even have Cure Poison, which is kind of terrible. But can somebody here cure our poison? And okay, I'm gonna not worry too much about the poison. It's irrelevant. If we find a temple, so be it. If not, we'll just do it in some other way. Giving the dragon these barrels because he is the one who's gonna need the most help when it comes to beating the contests where you have to have 200 of a stat, because he can't equip belts, he can't equip armor or weapons, helmets. All he'll be able to have is amulets and rings. It shows him having a glove slot, but he cannot actually equip these gloves.
It's of no use to me.
So, yeah, he, I think, will benefit the most from getting a few extra stats. And one other thing that we need to do here before we are done is we need to... Whoa, that's an awful time for our invisibility to run out. We need to pick up the 3 horseshoes. Again, it's below this star thing. And, okay, we found one. Now we need to figure out which one that is. I think there's going to be one to the south now. And that's a horseshoe. Then that means there's going to be one more to the east. So we'll start with the one in the east. Pick that up. And then we'll get the 2 in the west. That's how I find these horseshoes. Their dots form a bit of a triangular pattern. You can almost think of them as like a constellation if you think of these blue dots as stars. So that's how I... Ooh, here, another barrel. White barrel, yeah, not really relevant, but I'll give it to myself. Why not? Is that a... That's an empty barrel. Okay, now we're done. We're done with what we had to do in Murmurwoods. Now what we're gonna do... Now the excitement starts. We're gonna go back to Alvar. And first of all, we're gonna get rid of this poison because look... God, that is just frightening, isn't it? We're gonna get rid of that. Another blue barrel. Sure, you can have some more of that. Yeah, okay. This is the temple.
What can we do for you? Go with our blessing.
Now what we're gonna do is we are going to go to the Iron Sand Desert. That's where the bulk of the excitement is going to take place in this episode. I hope you guys are ready. Strap in, because some funky stuff is about to happen. First of all, we're gonna have to hastily run away from these gogs. Just, like, we can fight them, but why bother? They give garbage experience, and they're so annoying. They're ranged enemies that scatter all over the map. If you kill them while they're too close to you, they explode. Just the absolute worst enemies in this entire game, if you ask me. Not that I mind. I think it's okay for RPG games to have like 1 or 2 enemies that are so annoying that really all you want to do is avoid them. And that's fine, as long as there aren't too many of them. Most of the enemies in this game, even the dangerous ones, are actually a lot of fun to fight. So I think in that way, this game has struck that balance very, very well. Okay, now what we're gonna do is gonna fly to the north to this establishment. This, not establishment, this thing marked on the... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cast invisibility. Oh god, who is... You know what, let's kill this one. Just because it's gonna be like a thorn in our side if we don't. Now we'll cast invisibility, and this was my previous episode save, so let's save there. And now let's go towards this thing on the map. When we briefly interacted with it, it said it was a cave. It literally says a cave. And then when you click on the entrance, it says enter the cave. So when you click on it, you get a bit more context. It's Ilsingore's cave. Now, what might Ilsingore be? Well, one hint is that we have a party member with a similar name, Ithilgore. So perhaps Ilsingore is going to be similar to Ithilgore in some ways. And immediately upon entering, we see that this is a dragon cave. Alright, now, first thing I'm going to do is, I saved outside, so I don't need to worry too much. We are going to kill all of these dragons, by the way. Don't you even worry about that. We're going to kill every single one of them. But there's one important thing we need to take care of before that. Is that Ilsingore's cave famously has a chest inside. I think the chest should be here, which should have 2 artifacts inside. Now, if we open this chest and there aren't 2 artifacts, then that means something has gone wrong. So, straight away we see the Staff of the Swamp. A horrible thing which none of my party members are ever going to use.
This is useful.
But nonetheless, on our list of artifacts to collect. Okay, we've gotten that. That's good. However, now you see this is a very crowded chest. A big item could easily get lost if the game was trying to spawn it. However, if there's a second artifact in this arrangement, it can only be this item, which could be the Longsword Havoc.
This is useful.
And as it turns out, we did indeed get the Longsword Havoc. So we got
My pack's full.
our 2 artifacts. One thing I'm gonna do though is okay. I'm gonna drop off some of my basic potions to make some room for that staff. Yeah, alchemy we're not going to be doing for a long time.
Pack's full.
Oh, you need a whole other column. Okay. Well, we've got more basic potions that we can drop. Oof. Well, we should keep a couple of red ones and then drop off this blue one. Is that enough? Kind of. Okay. Okay, good. Now, okay, now you have this. You can hold on to this. And this is one of the last oversized, like, big items that we had to find. I think there's one more, like an axe or a halberd called a guardian, something like that. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is I need to make a couple marks in my notebook. We just beat the contest of intellect. And also we found Havoc. And the Staff of the Swamp. 2 more artifacts are down, but that's not going to be all that we find in this episode. There's a hint. I guess we'll even pick up the gold. A hint as to what's going to happen. We'll see what this belt is. Garbage.
Leave it.
Garbage.
Leave it.
Garbage.
Leave it.
Pointless. Okay. Now that we are satisfied that we have found our artifacts, we're going to go back to the entrance and we're going to do this place properly.
Haven't seen
Hatchling,
one before.
hatchling,
Haven't seen one
dragon,
before.
and one of those was a dragon flight leader.
Haven't seen one
Okay.
before.
Now how best to approach this?
Haven't seen
Dragon
one
flight
either.
leader, dragon
Know it.
hatchling. Okay, I think we're gonna set up camp in this area. I'll save in a different slot, just on the off chance that something gets messed up. But now we've got to cast a few spells. In Castity of Protection, it's gonna dispel our invisibility, but that's okay because we are about to fight for our lives against these dragons. And I'll even cast Torchlight. And immediately go into turn-based mode. Okay. Alright.
I've never seen one before.
Dragon, and I think behind the dragon is the flight leader.
Ow!
Okay. Coming towards us, but we've done some very solid damage. I'm gonna actually save my game in this.
I've never seen one before.
Below half health. Okay. We're doing really well. We need to focus them down. I think Ithilgore and Blackthorn are actually the ones who've done most of the damage. Alright. Flight leader, your time is up. Oh, why aren't we doing melee damage? Like, why are we shooting? Yeah, the game is a bit... I hope he isn't breaking our items. I don't think he is. Okay. Yeah, hang on. I'm just gonna... Okay, now you're down. Hatchling isn't gonna last long at all. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is... I'm happy with how this went. Do we... You can level up. Okay, that's good. We'll get some pretty good experience from killing these dragons. But we're not done. Now these dragons are so far away that... Well, and it's a young dragon, so not really a huge threat. They're so far away that Ithilgore and Blackthorn are going to really... Dragonet? Is a Dragonet a high tier... A high tier enemy?
Haven't seen one before.
Might be. Like, she's got a really... Well, her health bar is the same length as the young dragon. Which is... I think also the same length as the flight leader. So maybe that isn't really a good way to tell. So some of these are going to be high tier enemies capable of giving us high tier loot. We're going to be doing some looting as well. But before we do that, I want all of these people dead.
Wish I knew.
Flight leaders definitely are high tier enemies.
Wish I knew.
And I think if they're called dragons, like dragon with like no modifier on it, I think those are also high tier enemies. But if you're not sure, then you can figure out how high level an enemy is by looting them a bit and doing some save scumming and like seeing what you get. Ooh, 2 flight leaders, excellent. Ithilgore seems like he's
It is
being targeted by these guys. They must be angry that one of their own kind has betrayed them. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. It's a dog eat dog world. A dragon eat dragon world. There we go, Ilsingore. This is the showdown that I've been waiting for. Ilsingore versus Ithilgore. Who's gonna come out on top? Well, I mean, we should, because Ithilgore's got some heavy backup, but he's also injured. But now our people are doing melee damage. Ithilgore is trying to land some heavy hits. His flight leader ally is approaching from behind. Ooh, Elspeth has taken some big hits. Ooh, are we gonna have to back down? No, I think we can do this. We just need some good hit. And Ilsingore goes down. I think this flight leader might be the last big
I'm wounded.
enemy that is in our way. I'm actually gonna save my game. I don't want anybody to die. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the combat is a bit
Never
glitchy
seen one before.
in terms of hitboxes. Like, we should really be hitting this guy in melee, but when they're too close, the game kind of doesn't acknowledge them as being next to you, if that even makes sense. I know it doesn't make sense, but it's kind of how the game does it. I think we've done it. I think we've killed all the enemies. I think we've killed all... Here's the chest that we had earlier. Which we got our 2 artifacts from. One thing I should have done is... Sorry had been having this like regular garbage Regnan cutlass equipped, which I'm not even gonna bother selling it. I'm gonna drop it off in this chest. And for some reason I like to put items in chests. I don't like littering. Oh. You need to actually have it in your inventory. We'll drop it off there. And we have Havoc equipped. We've seen this before. We had it briefly before I had to, you know, redo part of the early series. But this is a really good item. Another thing that will help you beat stat challenges, because plus 70 speed, plus 70 accuracy, and pretty good damage on top of that. Long term, she'll have a different sword in her offhand, but for now, this is fine. And now comes... We'll save Ilsingore for last. What I'm going to do now is we're going to do some looting. And...
This is useful.
Oh god, there's certain rules that I'm going to apply for what I'm going to keep. This I am going to keep because it's such a good boost for like a stat that we have no other good way of boosting. So I'm going to keep that. But there's one specific item that I really, really want, which is a ring of light magic. Ooh, oh, and we can get like black potions as well. I'm not close enough. Let me...
This is useful.
Oh, see if we can just get a ring or even an amulet of light magic.
I like this
I know save scumming is not in the spirit of the game. And
I like
trust me, I will
this is
stop
useful.
save scumming, but it is really important for me to get
I like this.
tournament bow. We see we can even get artifacts. You know what? I've got to keep this. I've got to keep this. I'm gonna equip it on myself straight away. It's going to help us beat the accuracy challenge. It's like Long Seeker, but even better, at least in terms of the stat boost. One interesting thing is like they have the same graphic, but one is slightly higher up when you equip it. That's why I've got to make sure I don't accidentally sell the wrong one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drop off this bow, and I don't think there's gonna be room for the bow in the chest. No, there isn't.
I have no room left. There's no room and I have no room left. I have no room left.
Alright, fine. Sorry, can sell it. Fine, sorry, can sell it. We'll save Ilsingore for last. In fact, maybe I won't even loot him. Maybe we'll leave his body unlooted as a sign of our respect. Hatchlings aren't going to give us anything. I'm not even going to bother looting them. I'm going to check on whether the dragon, just a regular dragon enemy without modifiers, is high tier.
Leave it.
It seems like it is. That was a pretty high stat boost on that item, but because it's a
Worthless.
belt, which the dragon cannot equip, I'm not going to keep it.
This is useful.
Pretty good, but not good enough.
Worthless.
Interesting, but no.
I like this bow.
Wand is a pretty
Leave
boring thing. Oh, for a second I thought this would be the noble bone bow. If that was a bow of the dragon, I would have kept it. If you've
I like this.
watched the MM6 and MM... hey.
Worthless.
We multi-looted,
I like
which is a thing that can happen, but we multi-looted a piece of garbage.
This is useful.
Oh, I mean, a good enchantment, but wasted on a weapon because you'd rather have
Leave
just
it.
straight damage boosts on a weapon. But Off the Gods would be great for a ring. Two-handed axe, not interesting. Boots,
Leave it.
not really my cup of tea at the moment.
Leave it.
Another bow that could have been good but wasn't. The ring.
This is useful.
Well, I mean, we'll keep it because it's a ring and we can sell it. And plus 24 to ID item. I'll keep it down. Like, if there is ever an item that we can't identify, then that ring will make sure that we can. Although Ithilgore is already identifying artifacts and relics. Reagent is a useless find. Yeah, he's already identifying artifacts and relics. I don't think there's any item in the game that he won't be able to identify. Even, even though he isn't Grandmaster yet, so... I think the balancing on ID item was a bit too generous to the player.
Leave it.
Yeah. Regular dragons seem...
This is useful.
Spell points, speed, and intellect is a good find. But no, we have a specific thing that we want.
This is useful.
Why? Why dark magic? Come on. So at least we have proof of concept. We know we can get that enchantment.
I like this.
So I am going to
Worthless.
keep doing this until we get either
Worthless.
that enchantment or
This is you.
an artifact or relic, which I'm not sure that this
I like
Oh,
this.
well, I was just gonna say, which I'm not sure that this dragon is capable of giving us, but as soon as I said it, I was proven wrong, because we've just picked up Gloamin Mail, which only Dark Elves can use, so I'll have to give this to you. It looks very stylish, and then you can give this to me. Very stylish on me as well, and I guess we're gonna have to accept that. So, we found the tournament bow, and Gloamin Mail. Let me just mark those down because we are rapidly making progress on our artifact hunt. Gloamin Mail. Okay. Now I believe behind us was a he's right there. A dragon flight leader.
This is useful.
And let's see what he has to give us.
Worthless. Leave it.
Scroll. What a waste. Like,
Leave
if
it.
you weren't save scumming and if you looted a dragon flight
This is
leader and you
useful.
got a scroll, like how disappointed would you be?
I like this.
Like wands can be okay, like depending on
I like this.
water magic. Come on, like wands can be okay depending on if you're
I like
doing some like a solo night challenge run.
worthless.
Then wands can help you cast spells. Like, you know, it's a different way
This is useful.
of being able to cast spells. Nope.
Worthless.
Crossbow. Whoop. I think I muted the game and unmuted it.
Leave it.
Yeah, I think I muted and unmuted in rapid succession.
I like this.
So, you know, we're gonna keep doing this, and
This is useful.
I fully appreciate that this
I
is
like
not going to be exciting to a lot of players, but this is
Leave it.
extremely exciting to me. Leather armor, garbage. Just seeing what it is that we're gonna get now. Speed. I mean, like, we multi-looted, so of course I'm gonna keep this excellent plus 15 speed ring.
Leave it.
This crossbow is a bunch of garbage, so
I like this.
we're not gonna... Like, if we get leather armor, I am checking, because we might get the relic leather
This
armor.
is useful.
But there are certain items like belts. We've already found the special belt, so I might as well not even check if the game gives us a belt. Learning book,
This is useful.
a dark magic spell, pointless because you can just buy them.
Leave it.
Leather armor, not really what we want. Small shield
This is
is again not
worthless.
what is needed. Okay,
This is
listen. I warned you at the start
this is
of the
useful.
series that there were going to be periods of
Worthless.
heavy save scumming or other like repetitive grindy
Worthless.
situations, and so I make no apologies for this.
Leave it.
The series was always going to have a lot of this, so
I like
if you
worthless.
skip ahead, I will I won't in the slightest be offended if you kind of like hover your mouse over the, you know, like the progress bar of the video. That's one way
This is
to check if
useful.
like some phase of the video has ended. Like if you like quickest way to see whether I'm done save scumming is you scroll along the video and then there's no longer
Leave it.
a dragon corpse in front. Because while I'm save scumming, that's gonna be like it's gonna be either a dragon corpse or a loading screen. So you can be like, I'll just skip ahead to the part of the video where there are no more dragon bodies or loading screens. That's a good ring. But what? What was I gonna say? But I don't think that's what we're gonna keep. We have one more flight leader, and this ring combined with this ring is an extra plus 43 to personality. That will mean that we can beat the personality test, personality challenge pretty easily. So I'm gonna keep that. Okay. Now we have we have one Dragonflight leader and Ilsingore. So I don't want to accidentally loot Ilsingore. Alright. Two-handed sword
Worthless.
is... Okay, this is the normal item that Finality shares its graphic with. We multi-looted that, but we're not going to keep it, because we don't really need two-handed swords. Reagent, don't even bother checking that. Chainmail,
I like this ball.
no point checking chainmails anymore, actually, because we've already found Gloamin' Mail.
This is useful.
Leather armor could be the last stage cuirass.
Worthless.
Longsword, I don't think there are any random longswords to be found. Wands, not even gonna bother checking.
Leave it.
Axe, I think the last axe is in a scripted location. So not...
This is useful.
There we go. I've been mentioning leather armor. This is the last stage cuirass. It's another item. We're gonna keep it. I guess we'll put it down here and then we'll put the axe there. Okay. Yep. And eventually we'll give it to the Lich, I guess. Okay. Now, remember... Well, first of all, let me mark off last stage cuirass, which is a relic. Where are you? There you are. Okay, now remember when I said I wouldn't loot Ithilgore or Ilsingore? Ithilgore is very much alive. Remember when I said I'd leave this guy's body, intact out of respect? Well, I lied. We're gonna loot him.
I like this ball.
Just because I can. Pure might. Tell you what,
Leave it. Worthless.
if we get a pure, actually no, we can buy pure potions. What am I talking about? I was gonna say if we get a pure stat boosting potion
I like
for one of the challenges we haven't done yet, we could give it to Ithilgore. But yeah, I very quickly realized that is a
I like this
Earth.
ball.
Finding everything other than light magic.
I like this.
Alright.
I
Come on. Ilsingore, please.
I like
Be a
this.
bro. I know we killed you, but it was only because we wanted loot. Diamonds actually aren't bad, but I'd rather have other things.
This is useful.
Okay, come on. Come on.
I like this bow.
Every time we find a ring or an amulet, I get so excited because it could be the thing that we need. Chainmail, not gonna bother.
I like this bow.
Resistance is garbage stat. Helm, not gonna bother looking at that. Come on.
Leave it.
I think we're done finding spears.
This is useful.
Alchemy is actually not a bad thing to boost.
Worthless. This
Fleet
is
fingers, okay, I guess we're done. We're gonna hold on to fleet fingers. Let me mark this on my... Let me mark this on my page. Fleet fingers are where? Where are they? They're down here, okay. We found a whole bunch of artifacts and relics. Now, who's gonna hold on to fleet fingers? Well, could give them to Sorry Blackthorn, because she can benefit from bow and a little bit from Arms Master, but I am actually gonna save them for Leanne Stormlands, because when she becomes Grand Master Arms Master, then it's gonna be really, really good. Oh, and let me give myself these things, and why are you holding on to that garbage? Why are you holding on to an empty potion bottle? And we already have a very strong personality boost there as well. Okay. Let's drop this empty potion bottle in this. And before we leave, we'll check what kind of loot the dragon net is giving us. The dragon net. I think it's not gonna be great. Yeah, that's not even worth. Not even worth. Now what? You can gain 1 level. You not quite. You not quite. You not quite. Okay. Next thing what we're gonna do is first of all we're going to find some peace and quiet away from these gogs. And before we end off this video, I'm going to do something that will prepare me for what we're going to do next episode. So, you know what, let's rest for the night.
Hey, we have a customer. Good night.
And, well, that means we're gonna have to cast our spells again. So, cast Flight. And, gonna have to wait for some of these people to recover. Cast Wizard Eye. And Hour of Power. And now what we are going to do is... Alright, I don't really care about the gogs. Oh, I need to go in this direction. I want to fight these Cyclopses again. Just because they're easy, they're fun to fight, they're easy to kill, and the next thing that we're going to do in the next episode is we're going to go to the Cyclops larder. Oh, we need to get a bit closer. And they're also decent sources of experience, at least. That's what it seemed like. We just need to be careful that we don't let them get too many hits against us in melee, because
Yes, we've done
so
it.
that one is running away.
Wish I knew.
Wanted to kill him before he gets too far away.
Yes, we've done it.
Don't want any of them to sneak up on us. Can be tricky when you're flying and fighting because of, like, there is a little bit of awkwardness to the way the combat works.
It is down.
And sometimes enemies can kind of just sit under you and hit you constantly.
I got it!
Alright, we're making short work of these.
I got it!
Alright.
Got him!
I think we're gonna have some nice experience at the end of all
It is down.
of this. Some nice levels, which
Yes,
means,
we've done it.
well, you know, you guys know at this point why levels are so important to us. They make us stronger, of course. That's the obvious thing, but they also help us
I got
pass
it!
time.
We have crushed it.
Okay, a little bit quiet just because I want to make sure I focus down the last of these enemies. And then I'm gonna have quite a few things to say before we end off this episode, because this has been
Yes,
a very, very productive episode. Are you running away? No, you're not. Alright, are there any more of them? If there are some off to the sides, I don't really care too much because we don't really... We've already cleared the map once, so I think this is gonna be fine. Let's just do a quick check. You can train to 31, not quite to 32. You can gain 1 level. You can't quite gain 1 level. You can gain 2 levels. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll get some more experience once we actually enter the Cyclops larder. So what we're gonna do is we will park ourselves outside, and sure, I'll see what's inside these chests. Don't really, we don't even need gold. That's the other thing. We're so, well, you know what, let's get some free resistances. I think I'll just take all the resistances for myself, because I'm greedy like that. Okay. Now, before we end off this episode, let us recap what we did. We started off going to Murmur Woods, got another challenge taken care of, the challenge of... Sorry, not a challenge, a contest. The contest of intellect, got a few skill points from that, and from the horseshoes. So that was a, you know, solid start to the episode. Then we came to Iron Sand Desert. We went to Ilsingore's cave, and then all hell broke loose. First of all, we went to the chest inside Ilsingore's cave. We found 2 artifacts, this piece of garbage staff, and this pretty decent longsword. Okay, but that was only the start. We then proceeded to loot a whole bunch of other things. We found Fleet Fingers, we found Last Stage Cuirass, we found Tournament Bow, and maybe more. I think those are the only things we found. If we found more, then it's slipping my mind. but we found at least 5 artifacts in one location. And it's gotten to the point where the number of artifacts, at least the number of artifacts that we can find randomly, it's easier to count those than the ones that we have found, because we've found so many. So let me just look at my list and see how many random ones remain. And if I am reading my list correctly, only 1 random artifact remains. The Blade of Mercy. We found everything else. Well, no, the Blade of Mercy and the Noble Bone Bow are the only 2 that we haven't found yet. So that is gonna be like, we are on the verge of completing one very, very important objective, and I am so happy. I am just... It's hard for me to even encapsulate how happy I am, because the fact that... Well, let me not... Let me not... I'm tripping over my words in my excitement. I was gonna say, I shouldn't celebrate prematurely, because it hasn't happened yet. There are 2 to find, things could still go wrong. But when it happens, it'll be a relief. But I'll talk about what a relief it is when we are actually at the end. Let's not get too excited right now. For now, let's just be happy that we've made such good progress. Okay. And if my calculations are correct, the last couple artifacts that we'll find will be... Well, we could find them in all kinds of ways. We could find other dragons to loot, but I'd rather not have such a momentous occasion be achieved. Like, I wouldn't want the last random one I find to be the result of save scumming. I'd want it to be something more genuine, like the Dragon Caves. So the next reset for the Dragon Caves, a lot is riding on it, because if we've played our cards right, then the last 2 artifacts will be there. And man, I can already taste it. I'm sorry, I told you I'm not gonna celebrate prematurely, but I can't help it. I think this is gonna happen. Anyway, that's enough about that. We did other stuff as well. We killed dragons, we got experience, whatever. We found nice rings, cool, whatever. We didn't find the light magic ring. No big problem, no big deal. We'll worry about that later. But we got so many artifacts and relics crossed off our list, and that is just the main thing. The big main thing. Okay. On that note, I think it's time for me to stop ranting and raving, and it's time for me to bring this episode to a close. I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little maybe tedious in parts when I was doing the save scumming, but I hope you at least understood that I had a good reason for doing it. Like, if I have a chance to get closer to my objective, I'm gonna do it. But anyway, that's enough of me talking about that. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, do consider leaving a like. And if you're enjoying the series, and let me tell you, the series is about to just... It's about to open up a lot. It's about to... The shackles are about to come loose. We are pretty soon going to be free to do whatever we want. All the constraints that I've put on myself will soon disappear. But yes, if you've been enjoying this series, I do recommend that you subscribe, because things are gonna get even better. But regardless, I do hope I'll get to spend some time with you in at least a few more episodes. So, you know, we'll see each other then. And until then, take care.